In this video, we're going to learn how to blanch and shock. So to blanch and shock vegetables, I want to start with boiling water. And I'm going to take my pre-trimmed vegetables, in this case we're using green beans, and put them right into my boiling water. There are several reasons that we blanch and shock. The first thing is it's going to be a great time saver for us. So if we're making sauteed green beans and I already have the green beans blanched and shocked, have them cooked about 3/4 of the way, all I have to do is put them in the hot pan, saute them with my fat and my seasoning, and they're going to cook very, very quickly. The other reason that we're going to blanch and shock is a quality reason. The blanching and shocking is actually going to help set the color of the product. So when we do saute our green beans, instead of getting these little shriveled browning green beans, we're going to have really nice, firm, vibrantly green products. And this is true for most of the green vegetables that we're going to blanch and shock. So like I said, we're doing green beans, but you can do this with a variety of vegetables. Broccoli and cauliflower do really well with blanch and shock. You can also blanch and shock meat. The only difference is instead of starting with hot boiling water, we would start with cold water and slowly bring it up to a simmer. But the same principle applies. So we're going to cook our product based on the final application. So maybe if I was making a crudité board, I would want these vegetables to still be really, really nice and crisp, right? And I might only cook them for maybe a minute, right? Just to set that color and get that really nice texture in the end. If I was going to saute them and I wanted them 3/4 of the way cooked, I might cook them a little bit longer. So it's really going to depend on the application that we're using. I'm going to go ahead and cook these to about 3/4 of the way. And then we're going to go ahead and shock our product. So blanching is cooking the product in our hot water. When we shock, we're going to shock in what's called an ice bath. So you can see we have a bowl with ice that we filled with water just to cover the ice. We do want to make sure that there's still a good amount of ice left in our bowl, right? So we don't want to have a bowl of water with just a couple ice cubes because we're trying to shock, right? Really rapidly drop down that temperature. And it's that combination of the blanching and the shocking that's going to really set that color for our product. All right. So I'm using a spider strainer here. Okay. Give it a test. Okay. Still a little on the crisp side for cooking to about that 3/4 of the way. I want to make sure that we have our temperature hot enough so that it's boiling. You can see I'm at a simmer here. Just a few little bubbles coming up through. So I'm going to turn up my heat a little bit, get it back up to that boil. Okay, so checking my green beans, and they're about the texture I want them. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead, remove the green beans with my spider strainer right into my ice bath. I'm going to make sure to kind of stir my green beans around, make sure that they're really getting into contact with that ice water so they're not just a big lump of green beans with the ice water around them. I really want to make sure that I rapidly chill these green beans. Okay. And I also want to make sure that I let them sit in the ice bath until they're completely cooled. This is really going to help make sure that we set that color. So if I just put them in the ice bath and then immediately remove them, they're still warm in the inside, I may get some of that color loss. Whereas when I let them cool all the way, I'm really going to ensure that I get that nice color. Okay. So these green beans are pretty chilled at this point. I'm just going to bring some out on the board here for you to look at. You see that nice vibrant green color that we have? It's got this really nice dark color, and they just look really, I guess, tasty or desirable at this point, right? Think about if you've ever put a green bean or asparagus on the grill, right? It's kind of gotten, shriveled and brown. This blanching and shocking is going to prevent that from happening. It's going to make sure that we end with a really, really nice color and texture. Let's review. We're going to start our blanching by bringing a pot of water to a boil before adding in our product. Next, we're going to cook our product to our desired doneness, which will be based on the final application that will be used for that product. Finally, we're going to shock our product in an ice bath until completely chilled to help set the color of the product.